So what does it mean to you as a woman over 40 who's been struggling with your weight, going to the gym, eating healthily, to hear that Serena Williams, a world-class athlete, has actually come out and said part of her body transformation is down to the fact she was taking the GLP, so-called fat loss jab? Does it make you think, well, what's the point? Just like Serena, I've been trying everything in the world and the weight doesn't seem to be coming off. Should I just throw the towel in and have the jab? Well, in this video, I'm here to hopefully give you a little bit of hope, and I want to share and give you a comparison between two different women. So you've got Serena Williams, say a world-class athlete who has said she tried everything possible to shift her weight and it couldn't come off. And I'll put a link to her interview below this video so you can hear her speaking about it. I just want to compare and contrast her to a client of mine. Her name is Marie, also a mother of two, a little bit older than Serena Williams. She's 50 years of age, and she too was struggling with her weight, and she too was considering a medical procedure. In fact, I didn't realize this at the time. It wasn't until much later on when I was training her she told me this, but the first phone call she made to me to inquire about my services was done from a car while she was parked in a private hospital car park contemplating a medical procedure. So she herself had contemplated going down that medical route as well. And I get it. I've worked with enough people now, women and men, to know just how much it affects them on a day-to-day basis in terms of their confidence, their ability to go to social events, how it affects them in a work environment, and probably most importantly, how it affects them overall health-wise. So you can understand, and I can understand, why people would consider going for a jab like a GLP-1, the fat loss jab, to help get the results that you've seen Serena get. Now, I just want to put both women side by side and just give you some interesting comparisons. So first of all, let's look at the amount of weight lost by Serena on average over the course of 7 months, which is what I believe it took her to lose the 31 pounds. So she lost on average 4.42 pounds per month. If you look at Marie, she lost 57 pounds over 9 months, and she was then losing 6.33 pounds on average per month. So neither of those two figures, I would say, are particularly dramatic, but you'll see that Serena's 4.42 pounds per month was less than what Marie lost on average doing what I class as a holistic approach, working on her mindset, working on a diet, working on her exercise. That's my preferred approach, but everyone's got a choice. Other thing I want to point out is when you look at Serena's midriff and you look at Marie's midriff, they are, I would say, very similar in terms of how flat they are and how toned they are. And I know for Marie, when she lost 40 pounds, she was working out roughly 2 to 3 times a week, doing 30-minute sessions, along with some cardiovascular, which included cycling, which was one of her hobbies. When she got in the shape that you can see her in now, with the flat stomach, similar to Serena Williams, she was working out 5 times a week for 30 minutes doing resistance training. And I just add that in there so you understand that even if Serena Williams did in fact do what she's claimed to have done using GLPs, understand to get into that sort of shape, she has been pushing weights as well. So you can't just take something like a GLP-1 and expect to get a body that's toned. You have to do some work as well. But ultimately, the choice is going to be yours. You've got the GLP-1 route and other medications, or you've got a more natural route, which is working on your mindset, nutrition, your exercise. And whilst the second option may seem long, it may seem drawn out, it may seem like a challenge, you can see a direct comparison there in terms of the amount of weight that was lost over each month on average. So it's really going to be your choice. You've got to decide, where do you feel as though you are in your life? What do you feel as though you have tried? Do you feel as though you're at your absolute wit's end? Do you feel as though, no, for me, it has to be the jab? Or no, actually, there might be another route to doing this. Maybe I don't want to risk taking a medication that there's no long-term data studies on, which, hey, it might be perfectly fine, but on the other side, there may be some side effects as well. I don't know. I don't even know if the pharmaceutical industry know whether or not there are any long-term side effects either. But look, I want to close this video out by not listening to me speak. I want to close it out by you listening to my client Marie speaking about, very briefly, her journey on losing 57 pounds.
I had tried probably just about all the diets out there.
Yeah.
I'd done lots and lots of research on the internet about all sorts of things. And I did actually see Eric's Coach Me Slim and Trim program on the internet.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, it's just another one of those, or someone's just trying to get money out of me for, you know, and I discounted it. This for me has been life-changing, and it doesn't feel like a flash in the pan. I've been doing it for almost, well, getting towards a year now, really, about 9 or so months.
Yeah.
It's just made such a dramatic difference, and it hasn't been hard. I've made some really big changes, but in tiny, tiny, tiny steps, and so any one thing hasn't felt insurmountable at all, and consequently, I haven't failed at it.